We start with this one now. We'll revise first few sentences we did last time and then proceed further. The inner planes uncovered their crystal doors. Strange powers and influences touched his life. Strange powers and influences touched his life. So all the supernatural things are now happening in the case of Arshapati. Now he says strange. Strange because we are not used to them. We are not accustomed to them. We are not familiar with them. We are not familiar with them. Powers and influences also touched his life. Means his life is seeing something which was never happening in his case at all. And all that is happening when? In the inner planes. When the inner planes open the doors outside, then all these powers and influences are rushing into him, and his life is experiencing something different altogether. A vision came. Now, all these strange powers and influences, he is giving a few examples. A vision came of higher realms than ours. That is a strange thing by itself, you see. A vision came of higher realms than ours, a consciousness of brighter fields and skies. So you really become aware of something which is totally beyond your normal conception of things. Consciousness of brighter fields and sky, not only on the ground and the terrestrial world, but also in the celestial domains. You see, brighter fields and sky of beings less circumscribed than brief-lived men. So this is a contrast. These beings are not circumscribed the way in which we are circumscribed. We are circumscribed by our mental capacities, by our physical capacities, by our life forces and all that. They are very limited in the scope of activity. So those things are not really governing these beings. So the first thing is vision came, then came consciousness, then came beings. And subtler bodies than these passing frames, Sukshma Deha, not only our own but of others. Objects too fine for our material grasp. Well, obviously, means you cannot really touch them, you cannot feel them, you cannot smell them, you can't see they are too fine. Our physical instruments are too crude, too obtuse to really get something of them. And subtler bodies than these passing frames, objects too fine for our material grasp, acts vibrant with the superhuman light, acts vibrant with the superhuman light. See, suddenly the line has changed, the poetry is so totally different in this case. Acts vibrant with the superhuman light. You can see the power of poetry totally different here than objects too fine for material girl. That line appears like kind of a narrative. But suddenly the poetry picks up here, acts vibrant with the superhuman light, you see. You see, you can scan this line, acts vibrant, that is sponty. Then, and with is a peric, a superhuman, a super, sponty, human, Greek, and light I am. That is Canto's line, see. And movement pushed by superconscious force, and joy that never flow through mortal limb, and lovelier scene than earth's and happier lives. Now, this may not be a very, very high state of experience, but it is certainly beyond the physical earth's experiences, you see. See, there are heavens of life paradise, of mind paradise, all kinds of things are there like that, you see. So this may not be very high, but here he says, and movements pushed by a superconscious force. Now, movements pushed by a superconscious force still does not mean that it is in the transcendent. In these subtle worlds, in these worlds which he is describing here, there is a superconscious force which acts and makes them move and go around, you see. and joys that never flowed through mortal limbs, and lovelier scenes than ours, and happier lives. Well, obviously, this is one of the intermediate experiences of Ashwapati. He is going beyond the mental domain. He has entered in the spiritual thing. His pure perception has awakened, and he is now moving in the non-physical world there, you see. But beyond the non-physical world, there are worlds and worlds. So this is one of the earlier experiences he is having here, you see. And loveliest, huh?
Is this the subtle world?
Not well. It's not subtle in what sense? You see, it can be. There are all kinds of worlds. There are all non-physical worlds.
Yeah, but the subtle is the closest to the
Subtle physical is a specific word. Subtle physical world is a specific word. So, but then there are the worlds of God, there are the worlds of celestial beings, there are the worlds of musicians, there are many worlds like that. No, no. And joy that never flowed through mortal limb, and lovelier scenes than earth and happier lives. Earth and happier lives of course. Well, you may have all royalty, all luxuries of life and all that. You may be in America or wherever it be, but then that is nothing compared with what he is describing here, you see. And lovelier scenes than earth and happier lives, a consciousness of beauty and of bliss, a knowledge which became what it pursued, consciousness of beauty and of bliss. See, consciousness, it can be a consciousness of beauty alone, it can be a consciousness of bliss also, but here both of them are simultaneously present, beauty and bliss. A consciousness of beauty and of bliss, of both simultaneously present there, you see. See, it is not a consciousness of beauty and bliss. See, the poet is very particular about all this. It is not a consciousness of beauty and bliss. It is a consciousness, means beauty by itself, bliss by itself. Both of them are now in that consciousness simultaneously. A consciousness of, see, the poetic art is very fine here. And I mean, the line can, you see, if you don't have this off, it does make sense. It does make sense, but that is a different sense than with this off removed, with this off put there. Now this off here in this particular line is not for the sake of completion of a pentametric meter, a consciousness of beauty and of bliss. You see, first meter, first foot is a consciousness, second foot, third foot of beauty, fourth foot of T and Birik, and the last foot is of bliss. So this off is not just for the sake of metrical necessity. You follow the distinction between what I say? No, no. See, if you don't have off, then the line is metrically limping.
So then it is because of the metrical view.
Yeah.
It is. If you remove the
See,
off, then there is
you see, he could have made a consciousness of rare beauty and bliss.
no, then the
And the
metric
metric
will
will be kept. And it will be kept pentametric.
No, this off is not just only for the sake of pentametric necessity. Here it is necessary for the pentametric, but what I am saying, instead of off, I can modify the line, a rare consciousness of beauty and bliss. So it becomes pentametric. A rare consciousness, or a glad consciousness, or a happy. I can always add some other adjective there and make it pentametric. It is not for that purpose you have put off there. See, off has its own very specific meaning. In other words, he is giving equal emphasis on both beauty and bliss. And bliss. See, for the purpose of metrical completion, I mean, you can put some other word, some adjective, and somehow manage it, you see. and knowledge which became what it pursued. Now that is kind of an objective realization also. You identify with the object. You see the sun, but you become the sun. Yeah. Samyama. And knowledge which became what it happened, replaced the separated sense and heart and drew all nature into his embrace. Obviously. Well, that is the kind of a consciousness now he has got, you see. Now he is describing, first he has described consciousness, then he comes to mind. The mind leaned out to meet the hidden worlds. See, I mean, our mind is not capable of that thing at all. I mean, our mind tries to understand, know, explore at the most through rational factory, by ratiocination, by argument, by reason alone, you see. But why mind by itself can see certain things and know by itself, you see. The powers of mind are there, but they are all asleep in us, you see, completely. The mind leaned out to meet the hidden world. Here, glowed and teemed with marvelous shapes and hues. See, this is what is lovelier scenes and forms, no? Lovelier scenes, and he is describing some examples of that. The mind leaned out to meet the hidden world. Air glowed and teemed with marvelous shapes and hues. In the nostrils quivered celestial fragrances. On the tongue lingered the honey of paradise. Now he is giving the five senses which you have got to see. Mind is one of the most important sense. Actually, that's the fundamental sense, manasa. But then you have got shapes and hues, means sight. Then you have got nostrils, fragrance. Tongue, a channel of universal harmony. Hearing was a stream of magic audience. Ear. So he is describing the five senses which are awakened to a new sort of a faculty, you see. Hearing was a stream of magic audience, a bed for occult sounds earth cannot hear.
Can I ask a question? He describes the human, a little bit the human body, but in a sort of a transformed way. So the bodies in that world are actually much like the human body, but
Yeah, you see, basically, what you see, basically, all our senses are gross senses. But behind these gross senses, there are subtle faculties of seeing, hearing, and it is those faculties which are now coming into play and seeing things. In other words, they are in a way our own projections, but in a different manner. And the inner, he talks about inner doors opened out. No, the inner doors are opening out here. You see,
this is a human body.
yeah, but human subtle part of the body, inner part of the body, the inner, the inner part. See, I mean, what the Upanishad says, ear behind the ear, eye behind the eye, and ultimately all gathered by the sense behind the sense, manas. See, ear glowed and teemed with marvelous shapes and hues. In the nostrils quivered celestial fragrances. On the tongue lingered the honey of paradise. A channel of universal harmony. Hearing was a stream of magic audience, a bed for occult sound earth cannot hear. Out of a covered tract of slumber cell. So all these things was covered until now. They were asleep until now. See. Now they have opened out. They are seeing things. They are awakening. All the subtle senses are now coming into operation. The voice came of a truth submerged, unknown. See, the slumber self had kind of kept the voice suppressed until now that voice is coming out of the thing. A voice came of a truth submerged, unknown, that flows beneath the cosmic surface, only amid an omniscient silence. That voice, which can be heard only omniscient silence, is now coming out and being heard. You see. Held by intuitive heart and secret sense. That voice, that silence, which is held by heart and intuition of its own, and of course secret sense. Our own senses, the sense behind the sense, that is the secret sense. Manas is the primary sense in our case, but behind that there is a secret sense. And Actually, the sense behind manas is sadhyana. It is sadhyana which awakens and sees things directly. You see. Means it is the kind of a comprehending knowledge of things which you receive directly. Sadhyana. Vijnana is apprehending, sadhyana is comprehending. Hit held by intuitive heart and secretion. Now this is something, see, this is a very beautiful phrase, intuitive heart. Normally we don't associate any intuition of the heart. We associate intuition only with with this faculty, you see. But the heart has its own intuition. In fact, not only heart, even the physical has its own intuition. We don't really recognize that thing. We kind of say, stupid fellow, stop, don't come up, you see. The body also has its own intuition and it tells, you see. It caught the burden of secrecies, sealed and dumb. It voiced the unfulfilled demand of earth. Voiced unfulfilled demand of earth. It is that which is speaking out, you see. And a song of promise of unrealized heaven in all that hides in the omnipotent sleep. See, in the omnipotent sleep, everything is there, asleep. Omnipotent, which is very powerful, extremely powerful. Sleep, that is the sushupti. That is the consciousness of sushupti, prajna. So you are now living in the world of prajna and all these faculties are opening out completely. Omnipotent sleep is prajna consciousness itself, you see. In other words, he is really going beyond the physical senses, even beyond the subtle senses, all the way up to prajna consciousness, you see. In the unceasing drama carried by time, unceasing drama, well, drama, the time continuously goes on like that. Unceasing drama, unceasing drama. Why is it drama? Because it has to meet all kinds of forces. The forces which take you forward, the forces which you pull back also, you see. The conflicting forces, the divine, anti-divine forces are there, helpful, stupid forces are also there, all kinds of forces. So therefore it is a drama of all these forces acting and coming together, you see. In the unceasing drama carried by time, on the long listening flood that bears the world, it is the stream of time, stream of consciousness, which is really carrying on its bed, the world. On its long listening flood that bears the world. Insoluble doubt on a pilgrimage without goal. Doubt is on a pilgrimage. It wants to reach a temple, but it does not know that it is a temple. It wants, see, in fact, this is exactly the state in which our mental faculties work here. Yes, you are looking into the mysteries of matter. Yes, you are trying to understand the biology of systems. All the sciences are there. They are probes. But you don't know what is that you are really. It is a pilgrimage. Definitely it's a pilgrimage. But you don't know what exactly you are going to get. There is no goal at all, you see. In our case, a laughter of sleepless pleasure, foamed and spumed, and murmurings of desire that cannot die. So we are constantly striving, there is a constant aspiration also there. A cry came of the world's delight to be. So the world's delight, that should be here, it is that cry which is coming up, and he is able to hear that thing. The grandeur and greatness of his will to live. Yeah, you see, that is the will to live, to exert yourself in existence here. Be affirmative in life, you see. The grandeur and greatness of this will to live. Recall the soul's adventure into space. While the soul has plunged into space, it is recalling, and because of that plunge of the soul into this inconscient material world, that it is striving, it is working, it is doing something, you see. Recall the soul's adventure into space, a traveler through magic centuries. Yeah, the soul is really going from level to level, from consciousness to consciousness. It is a travel. In fact, this soul, in a general way of in a very particular way of speaking, we can say that it is the divine Agni, the psychic being, and he is a traveler. He is the one who moves from life to life. He is the one who carries things forward. He is in the stream of time and doing things. Recall the soul's adventure. He has come here and said, traveler through the magic century, and beings labor in matter's universe. Beings labor in matter's universe. Yes, he is here, and why? What is he laboring for? That matter sees material reality. That matter opens out to the nobilities and forces and powers of life. That matter sees the grandeur and greatness of mind and ideas and thought. That matter sees the possibilities that can come into it from the world of the spirit. It is that which is seen. Beings labor, that is the labor in matter's universe. That even material manifestation should be full of all its possibilities. Today, matter is not capable of holding life in its purity and form. Today, matter is not able to hold mind and other powers it is capable. So it has to open out like that. A traveler through the magic century, therefore is a traveler. And being, in fact, traveler, the Vedic Rishi speaks of Agni as a traveler and worker. He is Agni is a traveler as well as the worker. And he has been sent inward. That is what Bhamadev, he has been sent inward. In fact, it is the inward description of all that you see here. He has been sent inward, you see. And it is that traveler from life to life is carrying on the work. And that is the work which is being said. Through the magic centuries and beings labor. So travel and labor, both of them are there, you see. Worker, he is a worker. In search for the mystic meaning of his birth. Why it has come here? It is in search of that, you see. A joy of high spiritual response, a throb of satisfaction and content in all the sweetness of the gifts of life, its large breadth and pulse and thrill of hope and fear, its large breadth of pulse and thrill of hope and fear. What a line again. It's an absolutely pure monosyllabic line. You see, how the poetry changes completely, you see. Its large breadth and pulse and thrill of hope and fear. It kind of hammer beats. Yes, 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 yes. All these things should happen. Pulse and thrill, hope, fear. Yeah, all these things are there. Now this line, see, well, actually, its large breadth is 1 foot. Second foot is and pulse. Third foot is and thrill. Fourth foot is of hope. And the last foot is and fear. Now, second, third, fourth, fifth, all these 4 feet are ayams. And pulse and thrill of hope and fear, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, ayams. The first foot is a different foot. It's large breadth. Now here, both of them are accented, large and breadth. So you have got here short, long, long. That is called Antibacchus. The foot is named Antibacchus. So you have got Antibacchus and 4 ayams in this line, you see. Now, had he simply put its breadth, forget about large, the line still remains pentametric. Line still remains its breadth and pulse and thrill of hope and fear. Now you can see it becomes monotonous. Repetition of I am, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. It brings a kind of a monotony in the movement. But that monotony is removed by changing the first foot. Its large breadth and pulse and thrill of hope and fear. Now, not only that, see, I cannot make it like also like its breadth, its breadth and pulse and large thrill of hope and fear. I can't change this large elsewhere. I can't put this large elsewhere. It has to be only in this place. I can't put the large the pulse or large thrill or large hope or large fear. You see. It has to be only here. You see. So the most appropriate word in the most appropriate place, mawjust. You see, it has to be there, mawjust completely. So the monotony is removed. That is the poetic art. See, not the Shabindu or the poet is thinking and writing or changing like that. It comes with the power of inspiration. The inspiration itself brings its art completely. Its large breadth and pulse and thrill of hope and fear, its taste of pangs and tears and ecstasy. See, again, the monotony is removed by changing this feed, you see. Its taste of pangs and tears. Its taste of pangs and tears and ecstasy. So 4 am and last foot is spirit, short. Ecstasy. Ecstasy. Its rapturous poignant beat of sudden bliss. The sob of passion and unending pain. The sob of passion, of his passion and unending pain. Well, that is what he is describing of that cry. Then the murmur and whisper of the unheard sound. The sounds are unheard, but still there is a murmur and there is a whisper of the sounds, you see, because the subtle senses are awake there. See. The murmur and whisper of the unheard sound which crowd around our hearts and find no window to enter, swelled into a canticle of all that suffers to be still unknown, and all that lives mainly to be born, and all the sweetness none will ever taste, and all the beauty that will never be. Inaudible to our deaf mortal ears, that is the pity, that is the indignity on us. Our ears are not only deaf, but they are mortal also. See? Mortal ears, inaudible. See, actually, this is kind of mortal is a transferred epithet. It applies to mortal, our, essentially. Inaudible to our deaf mortal ear. The wide verdisms wow the stupendous chant in which to which life tries to fit our rhyme with here, melting our limits in the illimitable, melting our limits in the illimitable, tuning the finite to infinity. Well, this is a play going on. Low muttering rose from the subconscious. So while these things are happening from above and coming from outside, now things are kind of rising also from below, you see. Low mutterings rose from the subconscious caves, from all the internal guhas which are there, they are throwing their voices here. The stammer, the primal ignorance, yeah, we are there, the primal ignorance is there. And he says, yes, I am here, I am ignorant. Do something for me also, please. I am foolish, I am stupid, I am false. See, I mean, those are the murmurs coming out. The stammer or the primal ignorance, they are stammering because they cannot spoke out clearly enough what they want to do. See. Answer to that inarticulate questioning, they are stood with lightning neck and thunder's wing, a radiant hymn to the inexpressible. Now, here the hymn is personified. The hymn is personified. They are stood with lightning neck and thunder's wing, because it is coming down suddenly. So it's kind of a lightning, and therefore the neck is lightning, you see. They are stooped with lightning neck and thunder's wing, a radiant hymn to the inexpressible, and the anthem of the superconscious light, a radiant hymn to the inexpressible, and the anthem of the superconscious light. This is sheer poetry, you see. A radiant hymn to the inexpressible, and the anthem at the present point. It is that which is coming down, you see. All was revealed there, none can ever express. Vision and dream were fables spoken by truth, or symbols more veridical than fact, or were truths enforced by supernatural seal, stamp of kingliness or royalty, you see. Yes, it is there. Were truths enforced by supernatural seal, symbols of him. Now he is going to describe some of these things here. Immortal eyes approached and looked in his. Now all the gods and goddesses are coming here and looking into his eyes, you see. In fact, that is what Section-2 saw in the very early days itself. All the very goddesses and gods are there and they are looking into him, telling him, yes, I am here, I am here, I am here. You see. Immortal. So this is a purely autobiographical also. In fact, the whole description, but here you have got a specific instance in the life of Section-2. Immortal eyes approached and looked at him, and beings of many kingdoms neared and spoke. Yes, they are coming to him and telling him all that thing. The ever living whom we name as dead, could leave their glory beyond death and birth. To utter the wisdom which exceeds all praise. The ever living whom we name as dead, who are living in the world's soul, who are there, they are coming and telling him this. Well, actually, one good example of it could be Dante is taken around this world, the lower world, by Virgil. It is he is coming and telling him like that. So this is kind of that description you see. In the Inferno and Purgatory, it is the Virgil who becomes the guide of them, you see, and take them around, you see. The ever living, he is the ever living, that Virgil, so to say, and he is taking the ever living who we name as dead, could live their glory beyond death and birth, to utter the wisdom which exceeds all praise. The kings of evil and the kings of good, appellants at the reason judgment seat, proclaim the gospel of their opposites, and all believe themselves spokesmen of God. Yes, the devil is also telling, I am the spokesman of God, and the kings of good also are telling that they are spokesmen of God. And all believe themselves spokesmen of God. It means that none of them is really a spokesman of God, you see. The gods of light and Titan to the dark battle for his soul as for a costly prize. Costly prize, this precious thing, see, because of his sadhana, his tapasya, of his achievement, he has become costly, you see. It is better than the pearl, it is a blazing diamond, and it is that blazing diamond which they would like to possess for themselves, you see, a burning diamond. Battle for his soul as for his costly prize. Why the Titans want his soul? Why the gods want his soul? Because all that is which is good with him, in him, they want to possess it for themselves. Both of them, they want to possess it for themselves, you see. The gods of light and Titans of the dark battle for his. See, again, this line is very good. The gods of light and Titans of the dark. You see, we have got a period here. Titans of other feet are ams. The gods of light and Titans of dark battle for his soul is for a costly prize. Now this line starts with the battles. It is a trophy, strong shot for his soul as for a costly prize. It is a battle for his soul is Anapest. Trophy, Anapest. For his, as for a costly prize. In every hour, loosed from the quiver of time, there rose a song of new discovery, a Bautwang's hum of young experiment. Each day was a spiritual Raman, as if he was born into a bright new world. So each day he is having a new birth. Means newer and brighter worlds are opening out to him. Adventure leaped an unexpected friend, and danger brought a keen, sweet tang of joy. Each happening was a deep experience. Both. Each happening was a deep experience. There were high encounters, epic colloquies, and councils came couched in celestial speech, and councils came couched in celestial speech in the heavenly spirit. See again, see the alliteration of see. Councils came couched celestial speech. You see councils. Of course, S is also there. Councils and see, this is a kind of a deliberate alliteration. You see. But very beautiful. And councils came couched in celestial speech, and honeyed pleadings breathed from occult lips to help the heart to yield to rapture's call, and sweet temptation stole from beauty's realm, and sudden ecstasies from a world of flame. It was a rain of wonder and delight. It was a rain of wonder and delight. Now you see this line I seen earlier of beauty and of bliss. Now he did not say here it was a rain of wonder and of delight. See, if you put here of, it was a rain of wonder and of delight. it doesn't sound rhythmic. The meter may be still there, but the rhythm, the movement is changed. Whereas in the earlier case of beauty and of bliss, see, it is a kind of a rhythmic flow there. Here, he is avoiding after, see, a rain of wonder and of delight. Metrically, it is possible to put off, but then the rhythm is gone. The rhythm is gone. In other words, here you can say that wonder and delight are together. Whereas in the earlier case of beauty and of bliss, they are two distinct things. You see. All now his bright clairaudience could receive. So again, this is faculty of hearing, clairaudience, subtle hearing. A contact thrill of mighty unknown things. Contact, touch. Awakened to new unearthly closenesses, the touch reply to subtle infinity, and with a silver cry of opening gaze, and with a silver cry of opening gaze, sighs, lightnings leap into the invisible. So he is describing again the new senses which are awakened in him, and with a silver cry of opening gaze. Now the cry is silver, or the gates are silver. And with a silver cry of opening gate. Well, silver gates is quite understandable. We can think of very beautiful silver gates, you see, solid silver gates, shining, lustrous, bright, white, you see. But a silver cry, see, it is like say a golden voice. When you say golden voice, it is like that, it is silver cry. It is this, I will say that silver adjective is for cry and not for gates. And with a silver cry of opening game, sighs, lightnings leaped into the invisible. Ever his consciousness and vision grew, still that thing continued. They took an ampler sweep, a loftier flight. They, vision and consciousness. Consciousness and vision. They stands for them. They took an ample sweep, a loftier flight. He passed the border marked for matter's rule, and passed the zone where thought replaces life. He has gone beyond mind, beyond matter, beyond life, you see. Out of this world of science, suddenly he came into a silent cell where a world was known, and looked beyond into a nameless vast. The objective world has completely vanished. It is not there at all. You see, silent cell. Word of science, suddenly he came into a silent cell where word was not. Nothing exists there, you see. And looked beyond into a nameless vast. Means even beyond the silent self, he is now looking there, you see. He has gone from the world of matter of life, he has entered into the silent self and is looking now even beyond the silent self. Nishkriya Atman, silent self, inactive, not doing anything at all. And looked beyond into a nameless vast. These symbol figures lost their right to live. So all that was there of life and matter, they were figures, but they were only symbols. They lost their meaning, their right to live in the silent self and beyond. All tokens, they were just tokens. Dropped our sense can recognize. There the heart beat no more at body's touch. There the eyes gaze no more on beauty's shape. So because all the faculties are not there now, absent in a rare and lucent interval of in rare and lucent intervals of hush. In rare and lucent, well, it is rare, lucent, bright, full intervals of hush, means during the periods of hush. When the hush is there, intervals of hush, when the hush is there, you see. In rare and lucent intervals of into a signless region he could soar. Signless, because he is now in the silent self. into a signless region he could so, packed with the deep contents of formlessness. There is nothing there now. Contents of formlessness. So the formless is there, but it still has contents, you see. As I told you last time, you see a statue of Buddha, it is not just a stone. What you really see is something which is formless behind the statue of Buddha. It is no more that figure in front of you in the cave. It is a formless person you are seeing there. Packed with the deep contents of formlessness, where world was into a single being wrapped, and all was known by the light of identity, and spirit was its own self-evidence. You don't need evidence for that. Myself, I exist. I don't need proof that I exist. I am there. You see. The Supreme's gaze looked out through human eyes. So this is what has happened now. His eyes, they are not human eyes no more. What he is seeing is the vision of the Supreme himself. Means the entire perspective which he has got now in front of him is the perspective of the Supreme. The Supreme's gaze looked out through human eye and saw all things and creatures as itself, and knew all thought and word as its own. Is of the Supreme gaze. Their unity is too close for search and clasp, and love is a yearning for the one, for the one. Yeah, because there is nobody else there. He is alone, you see. And love is a yearning of the one for the one. And beauty is a sweet difference of the same. And oneness is the soul of multitude. Now this is a kind of crazy poetry for the modern mind. But you can't help it, you see. I mean, if you take it to an academician in the Western countries, you say this is nonsense, you see. You see? Their unity is too close for. In fact, that is exactly what the Western scholars did 100 years ago when they were reading the Indian scriptures, the Vedic literature and the Upanishadic literature. They were not able to make out any sense at all of them. It's completely, you see. Their unity is too close for search and grasp, and love is a yearning for the one, and beauty is a sweet difference of the same, and oneness is the soul of multitude. So, yeah, there are many people, but ultimately it is one who is there everywhere, you see. And oneness is the soul of his multitude. There, all the truths unite in a single truth, and all ideas rejoin reality. Yes, there are thousands of ideas, but then they find their reality. Each idea has its own reality, but they are not able to see that reality here. But when they go there in that consciousness, they say, "What I am Shiva, I am Vishnu, I am this thing." When he sees Shiva or Vishnu in that time, then he understands what Shiva is, what Vishnu is, what other gods are there. Same thing, ideas, same thing, everything like that. They are all the truths unite in a single truth, and all ideas rejoin reality. There, knowing herself by her own termless self, wisdom. Wisdom is a feminine. That her is stands for wisdom. There, knowing herself by her own termless self, wisdom supernal, celestial, heavenly, worldless, absolute, sat uncompanioned in eternal calm, all seeing, motionless, sovereign, and alone. She is there absolutely alone, herself completely. There, knowing herself by her own termless self. See, Satchidananda. How does Satchidananda know that I am Satchidananda? He knows it by his faculty of Vijnana, of supermind, which is also a part of it, you see. Satchidananda knows Satchidananda, that he is Satchidananda, because of supermind which he has, you see. There, knowing herself by her own termless self, wisdom supernal, worldless absolute, sat uncompanioned with eternal calm, all seeing, motionless, sovereign, and alone. Their knowledge needs not words to embody idea. It is the word which gives a form of shape to an idea, to knowledge. Word, Brahma, it creates a structure, expression. It doesn't need that. Their knowledge needs not words to embody idea. Idea, you see, idea is capital. The divine idea. Idea seeking a house in boundlessness, weary of his homeless, because she is weary of his immortality. Oh, I am tired of my joy, my ecstasy, my thrill, my bliss, etc. Let me go around and see whether there are other kinds of things available here. And therefore, the boundlessness is moving. Idea seeking a house in boundlessness, weary of his homeless immortality, ask not in thought's carved brilliant cell to rest, not in small rooms of thought. It wants to go and stay there. Ask not in thought's carved, yeah, the rooms may be very beautiful, carved, structured and all things, but they are too small for me, you see. Ask not in thought's carved brilliant cell to rest, whose single windows clipped outlook on things. So after all, what do we see from here? We see only through a single vision, single hole of the room, you see. Ask not in thought's card, brilliant cell to realm, whose single windows clipped outlook on things, sees only a little arc of God's vast sky. Cell to rest, whose single windows outlook sees only an arc of God's vast sky. Now, you could kind of remember, see, Shemandu was in the solitary jail, and through a small little thing, all that he could see was a tree there and some people here, and nothing beyond that, and a piece of sky, you see. That is what happens now. He was in a solitary cell, brilliant cell, to rest whose single window's outlook on things is only a little arc of God. Means for the physical eye, the vision which is available of that thing, but something else had opened out in his case. The boundless way, the boundless, they are consorts with that vision, the boundless, which has no boundaries, which has no limits, it consorts, lives, becomes friendly. While there, one can be wider than the world. So when Shebandu is sitting in their cell and looking only at a small strip of the sky, while there, one can be wider than the world. While there, one is one's own infinity. These are spiritual experiences he has there, you see, in the cell. While there, one can be. Now he says, while there, one can be wider than the world. While there, one is wider than the world. While there, one is one's own infinity. See. His center was no more in earthly mind. A power of seeing silence filled his limb. Seeing silent mind he already has, and it is in that silent mind he sees everything around what is happening. A power of seeing silence filled his limb, caught by a voiceless white epiphany, into a vision that surpasses form, into a living that surpasses life, into a vision that surpasses form, beyond form, into a living that surpasses life. He near the still consciousness sustaining all. In fact, it is that silent mind which is seeing everything. Caught by a voiceless white epiphany. That is the 12th day after Christ's crucifixion. 6th January, no? Epiphany, day of Epiphany. When the three Magi presented gifts to Christ's child on the day of Epiphany. On that 6th January, they presented the gifts to him. Myrrh, frankincense, and gold, they presented to him and that day. So, caught by a voiceless white into a vision that surpasses form, into a living that surpasses life, he neared the still consciousness sustaining all. The voice that only by speech can move the mind became a silent knowledge in the soul, The strength that only in action feels its truth was lost now in a mute, omnipotent peace. Quiet. We will do what is called Vedic chanting, little. And the purpose of this Vedic chanting is, I want to see to what extent we can adapt this way of recitation to Savitri. The way the Vedic mantras are chanted, whether we can use that method of chanting for reading Savitri text. That is the experiment. See, the purpose of redoing the chanting in the Vedic way of the English verse is for a specific reason. The quantitative language, which is Sanskrit, has sound value in each word. Each word carries a certain amount of sound. Whereas in English, you don't go by the quantity of sound, you go essentially by accent. You go essentially by accent, stress on a syllable. It was, they are, before, the gods, away. You don't go by quantity of sound in the word. You go by accenting like that, you see. But see, again, in English, the peculiar thing is accent and accent. If you put the accent on A, then it is one word. If you put the accent on C, it is another word. Accent and accent. Accent is a noun. Accent is a verb. So, in English, the stress also gives you whether it is a noun or a verb, you see, like that. So, these are the difficulties in the English language, and the quantity of sound which is there, for instance, accent. The sound is short, long, you see. Otherwise, accent, short, long, you see. Like it is an am or it is a trucky, accent or accent. Now, in order to give some kind of a volume to word, we can do a sort of a repetitive chanting of lines so that the volume gets added up in the course of chanting. I think we'll see that thing when we do that. So let me first start with the Sanskrit sloka, and then we will do the English sentence also. In fact, I am still experimenting on that, but let us do that also. See, this is from the fourth mandala of Rigveda. The fourth mandala is a composition by Rishi Vamadeva, and what we have done is we have picked up only the first hymn of Vamadeva from the fourth mandala of Rigveda, and out of that first hymn of Vamadeva has in all 20 verses, 20 richas, what is called 20 couplets, you can say, if like. So 20. Now the first one is here and the last one is here. So I am just taking for our purposes today only the first richa and the last richa, and then see to what in what way it can be chanted, and whether to some extent we can transfer this method of chanting to the English verse. You see. And you will judge whether it is good or bad. You see, but maybe my voice is not good. I am not a kind of vocalist to give proper utterance. Maybe a group of people coming together and doing things will produce a better result also. But let us still do some as an experiment. Tvam yagne shatamit samanyavo devaso devam maratim niririti kritva nirire amatyam yajatamarteshva devama devam janata prachetasam vishwama devam janata prachetasam. That is the first sloka. Tvam yagne shatamit samanyavo devaso devam maratim niririti kritva nirire Amatyam Yajatamarteshva Devam Devam Janata Prachetasam Vishwama Devam Janata Prachetasam. Sribandhu says he is one of the most mystical singers of the Vedic poets. Vamadeva Rishi, she was one of the most mystical singers of the Vedic era. And the poetry is really a kind of a song also. Tvam yagne sadamit samanyavo devaso devam maratim niririti kritva nirire amatyam yajatamarteshva devama devam janata prachetasam vishwama devam janata prachetasam. And the last sloka is, last verse, Vishvesham Aditi Yajnanam Vishvesham Atithi Manushanam Agni Devanam Avnana Sumriko Bhavatu Jatavedaham Vishvesham Atiti Yajnanam Vishvesham Atiti Manushanam Agni Devanam Avnana Sumriko Bhavatu Jatavedaham. Now the chanting, what is called in the Sanskrit style, Ganapatra. Mean you repeat certain phrases back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Certain phrases you, and then proceed also. It is like say A, B, C. You say for A, B, then B, C. Then A, B, C, then C, B, A. And then again A, B, C. And then continue like B, C, D, C, D, E, like that, you see. In that manner, you see. Tvam yagne tvam yagne sadamita yagne tvam yagne sadamita yagne sadamita samanyavo sadamita yagne sadamita samanyavo sadamita samanyavo devaso samanyavo sadamita samanyavo devaso Samanyavo Devam Maratim Devaso Samanyo Devam Maratim Devaso Devam Maratim Nirira Devam Maratim Devaso Devam Maratim Nirira Devam Maratim Nirira Devamaratim Nirira iti Nirira Devamaratim Nirira iti Nirira iti Krutva iti Nirira iti Krutva iti Krutva Nirire Krutva iti Krutva Nirire Krutva Nirire Amartyam Nirire Krutva Nirire Amartyam Nirire Amartyam Yajata Amartyam Nirire Amartyam Yajata sorry Amartyam Yajata Amartyam Yajata Marteshu Yajata Marteshu Yajata Marteshu Marteshu Yajata Marteshu Devam Devam Janata Devam Janata Devam Janata Prachetasam Janata Devam Janata Prachetasam Janata Prachetasam Vishwamadevam Prachetasam Janata Prachetasam Vishwamadevam Prachetasam Vishwamadevam Prachetasam Vishwamadevam Janata Vishwamadevam Prachetasam Vishwamadevam Janata Vishwamadevam Janata Vishwamadevam Janata Prachetasam Janata Vishwamadevam Janata Prachetasam iti Janata Prachetasam iti Janata Prachetasam Vishvesham Aditi Vishvesham Aditi Yajnanam Aditi Vishvesham Aditi Yajnanam Aditi Yajnanam Aditi Yajnanam Vishvesham Yajnanam Aditi Yajnanam Vishvesham Yajnanam Vishvesham Atiti Vishvesham Yajnanam Vishvesham Atiti Vishvesham Atiti Vishvesham Atiti Manushanam Atiti Vishvesham Atiti Manushanam Atiti Atiti Manushanam Agni Manushanam Atiti Manushanam Agni Manushanam Agni Devanam Agni Manushanam Agni Devanam, Agni Devanam, Devanam, Agni, Agni Devanam, Ava Devanam, Agni, Agni Devanam, Ava Devanam, Ava Devanam, Devanam, Avranana, Avranana, Ava Devanam, Devanam, Avranana, 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 Ava Avranana, Sumuligo, Sumrigo, Avranana, Avranana, Sumrigo, Avranana, Sumrigo, Avranana, Sumrigo, Avranana, Sumrigo, Bhavatu. Bhavatu Sumriko Arunana Sumriko Sumriko Bhavatu Sumriko Bhavatu Bhavatu Sumriko Sumriko Bhavatu Jataveda Jataveda Bhavatu Sumriko Sumriko Bhavatu Jataveda Jataveda iti Jataveda Jataveda iti Jataveda. So these are the two suktas. Now two slokas. Now we'll take a passage from Savitri. You can open if you like. It is 95.58. We are applying the same formula for reciting these passages. Now, the difference which I have made here is, say in the original Sanskrit formula, each syllable, each word is taken as a unit for repetition. Now, that we can't do in English. So, what I have done here is, I have taken for this particular passage a single line as a unit. Means a line is A, B, C, D, each line. So that A, B, B, A will go line by line like that, you see. It's not one. Otherwise, the regular formula is as when the, see, as when the, it is not like that. It is as when the mantra sings in yogas here. Is taken as a single unit as A. 98.58. This is a passage which appears in book 4, Canto 3. See, Savitri has grown up into full maidenhood and she must get married. But nobody comes forward to claim her hand in marriage. And her father falls in a state of meditation. And in that state of meditation, he receives the direction, so to say. And he speaks to Savitri. And what he speaks to Savitri sets Savitri now on the quest for her future husband. And then she goes from place to place, from kingdom to forest to different lands and all that thing, in search of her future husband. Ultimately, she meets Satyavan in the Shalva forest. So, it is what her father is telling to Savitri is sinking in her like a mantra. What her father is telling her is sinking like a mantra in her soul. And then she will go in search of her future husband, you see. As when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, his message enters stirring the blind brain and keeps the dim ignorant senses sound. The hearer understands a form of word and musing on the index thought at home, he strives to read it with a laboring mind, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. Then falling silent in himself to know, he meets the deeper listening of his soul. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body's self are seized unalterably, and he endures an ecstasy and an immortal change. He feels a wideness and becomes a power. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea, transmuted by the wide spiritual ray. He walks in naked heavens of joy and calm, sees the God face, and hears transcendent speech. And equal greatness in her life was shown. Her stands for Savitri here. Transcendent speech, Paravani, the highest utterance, Paravani. That is what Paravani. Now, this is a sentence of 19 lines, and we are taking each line as a unit, A, B, C, D, etc. And then we are going to do the chanting the way the Vedic verses are chanted. So in Ganapata, it is called Ganapata, repetitive chanting. If you like, you can join also. You see, the text is here. You can see it clearly. As when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, each message enters stirring blind brain. Just read like that if you like. You see, as when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, Each message, I will read first one sentence and then you get the rhythm perhaps. As when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, each message enters stirring the blind brain. Each message enters stirring the blind brain. As when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, as when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, each message enters stirring the blind brain and keeps the dim ignorant cells sound, and keeps in the dim ignorant cells sound. Each message enters stirring the blind brain. As when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, as when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, his message enters stirring the blind brain and keeps in the dim ignorant cell. Means the first three lines are chanted in this way. 1, 2, 3. As when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, his message enters stirring the blind brain. His message enters stirring the blind brain. As when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, as when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, his message enters stirring the blind brain and keeps in the dim ignorant cells sound, and keeps in the dim ignorant cells sound. His message enters stirring the blind brain. As when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, as when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, his message enters stirring the blind brain and keeps in the dim ignorant cells sound. His message enters stirring the blind brain and keeps in the dim ignorant cells sound, and keeps in the dim ignorant cells sound. His message enters stirring the blind brain. His message enters stirring the blind brain and keeps in the dim ignorant cells sound. The hearer understands the form of word. The hearer understands the form of word and keeps in the dim ignorant cells sound. His message enters stirring the blind brain. His message enters stirring the blind brain and keeps in the dim ignorant senses sound. The hearer understands the form of word and keeps in the dim ignorant senses sound. The hearer understands the form of word. The hearer understands the form of word and keeps in the dim ignorant senses sound, and keeps in the dim ignorant senses sound. The hearer understands the form of word and keeps in the dim ignorant senses. The hearer understands the form of word and musing on the index thought tone, and musing on the index thought tone. The hearer understands the form of word and keeps in the dim ignorant senses sound, and keeps in the dim ignorant senses sound. The hearer understands the form of word and musing on the index thought tone. The hearer understands the form of word and musing on the index thought tone, and musing on the index thought tone. The hearer understands the form of word. The hearer understands the form of word and musing on the index thought tone. He strives he strives to read it with laboring mind. He strives to read it with laboring mind, and musing on the index thought tone. The hearer understands the form of worm. The hearer understands the form of worm, and musing on the index thought tone. He strives to read it with laboring mind, and musing on the index thought tone. He strives to read it with laboring mind. He strives to read it with delivering mind, and musing on the index thought tone, and musing on the index thought tone. He strives to read it with delivering mind, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. He strives to read it with delivering mind, and musing on the index thought tone, and musing on the index thought tone. He strives to read it with the laboring mind, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. He strives to read it with the laboring mind, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. He strives to read it with the laboring mind. He strives to read it with the laboring mind, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. Then, falling silent in himself to know, then falling silent in himself to know, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. He strives to read it with the laboring mind. He strives to read it with laboring mind, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. Then, falling silent in himself to know, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. But then, falling silent in himself to know, then falling silent in himself to know, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. Then falling silent in himself to know, he meets the deeper listening of his soul. He meets the deeper listening of his soul. Then falling silent in himself to know, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. Then falling silent in himself to know, he meets the deeper listening of his soul. then falling silent in himself to know, he meets the deeper listening of his soul. He meets the deeper listening of his soul, then falling silent in himself to know, then falling silent in himself to know, he meets the deeper listening of his soul. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. He meets the deeper listening of his soul, then falling silent in himself to know, then falling silent in himself to know, he meets the deeper listening of his soul. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. He meets the deeper listening of his soul. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. He meets the deeper listening of his soul. He meets the deeper listening of his soul. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. He meets the deeper listening of his soul. He meets the deeper listening of his soul. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. Sees unutterably and he endures. Sees unutterably and he endures. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. The word repeats itself in strain. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. Sees unutterably and he endures. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. Sees unutterably and he endures. Sees unutterably and he endures. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. Sees unutterably and he endures. An ecstasy and an immortal chain. An ecstasy and an immortal chain. Sees unutterably and he endures. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body, cell. Sees unutterably and he endures. An ecstasy and an immortal chain. Sees unutterably and he endures. An ecstasy and an immortal chain. An ecstasy and immortal chain. Sees unutterably and endures. Sees unutterably and he endures. An ecstasy and immortal chain. He feels the whiteness become. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. An ecstasy and immortal chain. Sees unutterably and he endures. Sees unutterably and he endures. An ecstasy and immortal chain. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. An ecstasy and immortal chain. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. An ecstasy and immortal chain. An ecstasy and immortal chain. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. An ecstasy and immortal chain. An ecstasy and immortal chain. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea, transmuted by the white spiritual ray. Transmuted by the white spiritual ray. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. He feels the whiteness and becomes a power. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea, transmuted by the white spiritual ray. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea, transmuted by the white spiritual ray, transmuted by the white spiritual ray. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea, all knowledge rushes on him like a sea, transmuted by the white spiritual ray. He walks in the giddiness of joy and calm. He walks in the giddiness of joy and calm. Transmuted by the white spiritual ray, all knowledge rushes on him like a sea. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea, transmuted by the white spiritual ray. He walks in the giddiness of joy and calm. Transmuted by the white spiritual ray, he walks in the giddiness of joy and calm. He walks in the giddiness of joy and calm. Transmuted by the white spiritual ray, transmuted by the white spiritual ray, he walks in the giddiness of joy and calm. See the God face and hear transcendent speech. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. He walks in ignorance of joy and calm, transmuted by the wise spiritual ray, transmuted by the wise spiritual ray. He walks in ignorance of joy and calm. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. He walks in ignorance of joy and calm. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. And equal greatness in her life was sown. And equal greatness in her life was sown. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. And equal greatness in her life was sown. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. And equal greatness in her life was sown. And equal greatness in her life was sown. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. And equal greatness in her life was sown. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. And equal greatness in her life was sown. And equal greatness in her life was sown. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. He walks in the ignorance of joy and calm. See the God face and hears transcendence peace. And equal greatness in her life was sown.
Wow.
The whole idea
This
is
is in
to
the
give.
same rhythm.
Pardon?
In the same rhythm, you repeat it.
Yes, back and forth they go. And move forward also. A, B, C, B, C, D, C, D, E, like that goes on like that, you see. That kind of.
This was
Pardon?
Vedic method for the
Vedic method.
oral transmission. No?
Yeah, well, Vedic, the strictest Vedic recitation is by each each syllable. What we are doing is we are taking each line as a unit. Tvam yagne, each word like that.
Yeah, but what was the purpose?
Purpose to give volume to sound to the word. See, if you simply and when the word sings in yoga's ears, when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, if you just read that simple thing, it is a different sound effect. When you read this thing repeatedly, it is an accumulative sound effect.
It was chanting. Yes, of course.
Chanting. Well, let us see how. Actually, you don't go much by the meaning of the content or the sense of it. You essentially are driven by the sound. It is the sound which comes out most effectively. And then that sound itself starts working in you.